SwimOutlet.com delivers the best online shopping experience. With an extensive selection and the lowest prices, you're guaranteed to find the product you need. Here's what you get. Free shipping on all orders over $49. Free 1 to 2 day shipping on all orders over $99. All orders placed by 6 p.m. ship out the same day. Shop at SwimOutlet.com, the web's most popular swim shop.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Friday, September 21st, 2012. I'm your host, Jeff Cummings. There were a lot of emotional storylines that came from this year's Paralympic Games, and one of them was Brad Snyder's. 1 year after losing his eyesight while serving in the Navy in Afghanistan, Snyder was on top of the medal podium twice in London. And he's here now in the Finis Monitor to talk about it all. Brad, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm great, sir. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. Good to have you here. Let's start off back in that day in September 2011 in Afghanistan. What do you remember about the day that you stepped on that bomb?
I remember pretty much everything. My element was trying to safely evacuate a few of our Afghan partner forces who had also been injured, and unfortunately I stepped on a secondary explosive device that was buried in the ground not too far from where the original personnel were injured. And I remember everything from the sound of the explosion to waking, or kind of like looking down, and I actually could still see out of my left eye. I still saw that I had both my legs and both my arms, and that it seemed like, you know, I was going to be able to make a quick recovery. So once my friend got to me, I was able to
Skype has new window.
was able to stand up and walk away, and that was huge. So it was pretty crazy day.
So it was pretty much a case of no one knew that bomb had been placed there at all.
That's correct. I mean, that was really the problem that we contended with on a daily basis, was where they're trying to booby trap our movements and things like that. So we got caught off guard with the first blast, and then the second one caught me off guard as well. So I guess that's just the name of the game.
Yeah, you went to Navy and you learned about bomb defusing, and then when you started to serve in active duty, that was kind of your primary job, correct, to defuse bombs?
That's correct. I actually didn't learn about bomb defusing until after I graduated from college. So my college undergraduate was in naval architecture, and then upon receiving my commission, went to a follow-on school down in Fort Eglin, Florida, where I learned, I spent about 13 months learning all the aspects of bomb disposal, from missiles to grenades to underwater bottom mines and things like that. And again, that took about 13 months.
Now, I'm curious about this. I mean, as you said, you didn't learn about this in the Navy. You learned about it when you went into active duty. What got you interested in pursuing a line of work where pretty much every day you go in knowing that, when you're going to defuse a bomb, there's a 50-50 chance of you not surviving that day?
Well, we try to mitigate that chance as much as possible by utilizing remote tools and things like that. So we try to keep it down to maybe not 50-50, maybe 1 in 10, maybe I don't know. But I got involved with that program initially because the Navy's got a robust diving program, and explosive ordnance disposal happens to be intimately involved in the diving programs of the Navy. And at this point in the Navy, there are no officer dive billets, only EOD billets. And that was where my initial interest stemmed from.
Has opened the document.
And I had to screen to be able to become a part of the community, and I was always looking for a challenge, and I just really was enamored with the different aspects of the community, from scuba diving to skydiving to just to the complexities of the problem at hand, and really kind of fell in love with it early on, and really loved the people I worked with. Was really the huge attractor as well. The Navy Bomb Disposal School is one of 2 different aspects of the Navy where officers and enlisted go through the same school, and we're a very tight-knit and small community, and it's just been an amazing experience to work with those guys. So that's what got me involved in the first place.
Now, after this incident, September 2011, how long was your recovery period?
So I was in intensive care for approximately 3 weeks, and then was transferred down to a VA facility in Tampa, Florida, where I spent about 5 weeks physically recovering from the injuries I had sustained to my face and my hand. And then I guess at really the 8-week mark, I was pretty much completely healed and began what they call blind rehab. I was transferred to another facility in Georgia where I would spend my day kind of a traditional schoolhouse setting, learning different aspects of blind living, whether it's cooking blind or walking blind or using a computer that speaks to me and those different things. So, and that took about 3 months. I finished complete rehab on the 10th of February, and then was released to the wild and began, my new career as a blind person.
What would you say has been the biggest adjustment to being blind?
The most difficult adjustment is the lack of autonomy you experience. So anywhere that I go new, I can't just walk around and find the bathroom on my own or go grab a hot dog or whatever. I have to have, I have to be on someone's arm, and I have to have someone help me. And when I need a ride to go to the drugstore to get more toothpaste, I have to have my brother or my mother or a friend take me, and I can't, I can't just do those things on my own anymore. And that was frustrating at first. I was a very, very autonomous person, and that, taking that hit was one of the most difficult. So I would say that's the biggest adjustment, but I've gotten pretty used to it. I've gotten used to figuring out how to do most things myself, and the things I can't, then, I have learned how to ask for help, and that was a hard thing to do.
What are you doing specifically in the Navy now?
So right now the Navy has given me permission to pursue an internship in Baltimore. I work for a small software company called Red Owl Analytics. The founders are one's active duty and one's a veteran, and so they're involved in a non called the Commit Foundation, where they aid veterans making transitions. So the idea of, while I'm waiting for the administrative process, medically retiring, to go through, I'm pursuing an internship where I can learn as much about corporate life and business as possible, so I can facilitate a good transition from the military life to life as a civilian.
After your injury, was there any concern on your part about what you would be able to do, especially with not having eyesight?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of doubt, especially early on, and that's where the rehab process was really an involved one. But thankfully, the support through the VA system and my family and friends, we were able to figure out ways to mitigate all the things I can't really do. I adopted a mentality early on to say that there is nothing I can't do other than really drive a car and fly an airplane, which I can actually do those things. It's just not so safe to do. So I've been able to find ways around all the things that are challenging. The computer that talks, and a barcode reader in the kitchen, and little tricks of the trade that really help me reestablish that autonomy and find ways to do the things that I used to be able to do.
Yeah, a lot of things probably that blind people didn't have 10, even 15 years ago.
Yeah, I've been told many, many times that if there was a time to go blind, now is the right time. And we've got the iPhones are very, very, very accessible and an amazing interface for blind people. I don't know if you've seen it in the news, but they've got the Google car out there that's hopefully going to be an autonomous driving platform, so blind people will be able to go back to the drugstore and pick up that toothpaste. So, really excited about the prospect of blind technology, and really thankful that, that's available to me, and I'm able to utilize it on a daily basis.
Well, if there is an upside to all this, it would be that you got to go to the Paralympics in London, and you walked away with 2 gold medals in the 100 and 400 freestyle, a silver in the 50 freestyle. Had to be one of probably, I mean, you've been a swimmer all your life, and you were captain of your swim team at Navy, but I mean, is this something that you ever thought would be possible, while you're lying in bed trying to recuperate from this?
No, not at all. And it's not even something I ever thought I'd be able to do in life. I mean, early on in high school, I think we all, were training with that idea that maybe one day I could throw on the cap with the flag on it, and it's got my name on it, and compete in the Olympics would just be an amazing experience. But I think as my career waned and I was at Navy, I realized the prospect of me joining the Olympic team was pretty dismal, and so I kind of gave up those hopes and started rooting for the people who did make the team. And then the opportunity to compete as a Paralympian really caught me off guard, and was just an absolutely amazing opportunity. And I was very, very excited to participate on the roster, and it was even better to be able to champion that. So I'm really ecstatic, and it hasn't even really settled in at this point. I'm still catching up and still thinking about it, and wow, it really truly was an amazing experience.
Of all the races you swam, which one you think was your best one?
By far the 400 meter. I remember standing on the pool deck with my coach Brian Leffler at the Loyola pool and talking about the idea that I'd be able to compete on the same day I lost my sight. 400 meters where I feel the most comfortable as far as the Paralympic set of events goes. I was a miler in college, and to be able to extend the distance out a little further is definitely an advantage to me. And it's the race I feel the most comfortable in, and to be able to compete on such a special day was amazing. And I happened to execute it relatively well according to what we wanted to set out and do. My prelim swim was, not too much in the way of digging too hard, effortlessly and smooth, and I was really happy with that time. And then got after it a little bit more at night and was able to shave some more time off. So I'm really happy with that swim, but definitely looking forward to trying to bring some more time off of that in the next few years. There's a really long-standing record in that event, and I think collectively myself and my competition really want to see that go down. So looking forward to training for that again.
Just to kind of give our viewers a little idea of what it's like to compete at the Paralympics for blind swimmers, all blind swimmers have to wear blacked out goggles, is that correct?
That's correct. I actually get an exception because I have prosthetic eyes. Thankfully, the International Paralympic Committee sees through that, no pun intended, so I don't have to wear the blacked out goggles. But if there is any doubt whatsoever within the doctor's mind that you may or may not be able to perceive light, even the perception of light could be construed as an advantage. So my classification is called the S11 classification. All blind swimmers must wear blacked out goggles, and all blind swimmers utilize a tapper on either end of the pool to indicate to the swimmer that you're approaching the wall and you need to execute a turn as best as possible. And that happens in all strokes.
Something we had thought about on Twitter, and I don't know if you saw this, is a nice little match race with you and Michael Phelps, let's say maybe in a 200 free where you're both wearing blacked out goggles. I don't know, maybe you'd have an advantage because you're used to it. I mean, both of you are in the Baltimore area. I mean, it couldn't be that difficult maybe to get you two together and maybe see how that would go.
No, I'd love to maybe issue that challenge for me. That'd be great. I think that Michael's an absolutely amazing swimmer, and I don't think that he'd have any trouble with it. But I think it'd be interesting, and if we could do it for charity, I think that'd be a wonderful thing. And you're right, he's just right up the street, and that'd be a fun event to coordinate for sure.
Well, if Michael Phelps is watching this, maybe we'll hear from him and we'll get that going for you. There's one more thing. What has been the best part of being a Paralympian? Winning the gold medal, carrying the flag at the closing ceremonies, or getting to meet President Obama?
I'll combine the two of those. Being able to present the flag that I carried to President Obama was really an amazing experience. There's a lot that went into that flag, and that was the flag that was carried on the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, and then I got to close both of them out by carrying at the end of the Paralympics, and that was a special flag. And I've told a lot of people, one of the other difficult aspects of my recovery was the idea that I had really my ability to serve taken away from me. I wasn't able to continue my deployment. I wasn't able to continue doing the things I was as an explosive ordnance disposalman. So to be able to wear a new uniform and to carry the flag on behalf of my country and represent Team USA was absolutely an amazing experience. And to be able to bring that flag home and give it to our president and honor him and honor the team was just absolutely an experience I'll remember for the rest of my life, for sure. It was just fantastic.
Well, Brad, obviously nobody wishes, the kind of tragedy you experienced last year, but it definitely seems like it's really becoming a positive for you, and we're really glad that that's happening for you. And congratulations on not just the Paralympics, but everything that you've been able to do ever since then. And we look forward to seeing you chase that record, as you said, and continuing your success in the pool.
Skype has new window.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate you taking the time out to chat with me, and I appreciate everyone who took the time to view.
My pleasure, Brad. We'll see you soon.
All right, take care.
All right, so that's Brad Snyder joining us on the Morning Swim Show today, and that's going to do it for today's edition of the show. We invite you, as always, to post your thoughts on topics discussed on today's show, either on our website or on our Facebook and Twitter pages. I'm Jeff Cummings. Thanks for watching.